Back in September of 2023, most React developers already knew that the Create React App COI was dead man walking. Facebook had been telling people for years to migrate off of the CRA. By September of 2023, Vite was the heavy hitter in terms of front-end tooling. And those of us that followed the development of Webpack 5 had taken notice that the Webpack team spent more and more time working on TurboPack for Vercel. So on September 11th of 2023, I published a tutorial video on YouTube on how to set up a React client-side project using Vite. I also configured ESLint and Prettier for you. There was an accompanying GitHub repo with the tutorial because there were forward-thinking development shops that saw the writing on the wall and was migrating towards Vite or something similar. Fast forward 2 years, and Vite is still a major player for client-side rendering as well as server-side rendering React applications. And of course, you can also use Vite with Vue.js in addition to React. In the 2 years since I published this video, one of the major changes is the rise of Rust-based linting tool, which were sort of precipitated by a phenomenon referred to as ESLint configuration hell. The two major players in the Rust-based linting tools are Oxlint and Biome. Now, I already have multiple video tutorials for Biome. I've used Biome for small projects all the way to very large corporate projects. I've replaced both ESLint and Prettier with a single tool in Biome. For the remainder of this video, I will focus on Oxlint. I will tell you right off the bat that Oxlint can only replace ESLint, not Prettier. You will still need to use Prettier with Oxlint. If that is the deal breaker for you, then hey, thanks for watching. Please enjoy my Biome videos. Please like and subscribe. The upside of Oxlint is that it's very fast, much faster than ESLint and a little faster than Biome. And it works amazingly with TypeScript. And when I say that these Rust-based linter are much faster than ESLint, I don't mean just in the local development environment. I am referring to it being very fast, executing in your CI/CD pipelines, which will improve the speed of your builds. Let's jump into VS Code. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up Oxlint in VS Code. This is the same confetti app that I did 2 years ago, except this time it's in TypeScript. First, we are going to install Oxlint as a dependency. Of course, I'm using pnpm. Next, we are going to create an Oxlint RC JSON file from the command line. Issuing this command will generate this file with the following settings. Now, you might see more settings than this if you were to do this on your own. I've just trimmed it down to the bare minimums. Now, if you notice here, I have included the accessibility plugin. This was something that I also added 2 years ago with ESLint. Adding this accessibilities plugin in Oxlint and in Biome for that matter, it's much easier than in ESLint. So those two commands in that sequence and then adding your linting scripts will get you going. Of course, you will also use Oxlint with Prettier. And as a reminder, if you've configured your VS Code to work with Prettier as the default formatter, like I show you in the previous video, then all you need to do is add a .prettier.rc.json file, set your rules, and then you're off to the races in terms of formatting on save. And if you haven't already done so, I've also created the settings, the VS Code settings.json file for you with respect to Prettier and the Oxlint linter. Oxlint does have an extension for VS Code. So if you were to install this extension, then you can enable that extension in your settings. And of course, I'm using the ESLint Prettier uh, extension for VS Code. This extension has been around for a long time. I do have a GitHub repo for you with this setup. The link will be in the video description. The VS Code settings configuration is actually in the .vs Code folder. And then in the .github folder, I also included an example. Now, this is only an example of a continuous integration YAML file for you. This is in following with documentation from Oxlint. It is a YAML file to run against your CI/CD pipeline. In this case, it's an example for GitHub Actions. So one question that I get asked very often is, can I use Oxlint and Biome in VS Code? The answer is sort of nuanced. If you want to use Biome for one project and then Oxlint for another project, then you would have to set up these two Rust-based linter under separate user profiles because Oxlint still uses Prettier as its formatter, whereas Biome is both a formatter and a linter. Whichever one you choose is going to be a hell of a lot faster than ESLint and a lot easier to set up and maintain. Being a modern front-end developer involves a lot of orchestration. We are concerned with what's happening inside the browser. Of course, we are coding in HTML, CSS, various CSS libraries, JavaScript, TypeScript, DevOps, among other things. So therefore, the less time that we have to spend fighting with ESLint, the more time we have for focusing on our job. And having talked to a lot of developers these past couple of years, that's what they were doing with ESLint. And especially when they had to migrate from older version of ESLint to ESLint 9. And so that's why I'm making this video now. Now, if you currently have a massive ESLint configuration file, Oxlint does offer a migration from ESLint to Oxlint command. And it looks like this. Obviously, if you are using pnpm, then you will have to substitute npx. Now, I've tried this on a large ESLint config file, and it does not work perfectly. You will still have to go in and do some of the migration manually by yourself. You might be able to get an AI agent to help you if that AI agent, that LLM model, is trained on linting, JavaScript, TypeScript linting. Please share this video with your team if you are considering Oxlint. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Of course, it is absolutely free. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.